Yeah, well, these people seem to sit and say, I'm really unhappy with X, but then stay doing X. So I don't believe they're truly actually unhappy. What you'll notice if you live life long enough is that somebody will sit and say to you, I'm unhappy being a loser. You say, why are you a loser? I just sit at home and play video games 7 days a week. And you're like, okay. And maybe 3 days of the week, they're unhappy doing that. But 4 days of the week, they don't really, it doesn't really bother them. Yeah. It doesn't really bother them. Because if it bothered them 7 days a week, guess what?
They would fix it.
Correct. Yeah. So I have very little sympathy for people. And that's not because I'm not a nice person, but it's because I've been so hard on myself and I've been through so many things that were difficult, and I've been through so much pain and trauma myself, some of it self-inflicted, some of it given to me by God to make me a better person. But I've been so difficult on myself. It's very hard for me to look at somebody who's refused to be difficult on themselves and see them as my equal or feel sympathy or pity for them. Why would I feel pity for somebody who took the easy route when I took the hardest possible route? Yeah. I took the hardest possible way to be the man I am, and you were too big of a, and now you want me to feel sorry for you? I don't feel sorry for you. Yeah. I don't feel sorry for these people, because as a man, you can be anything you decide you want to be. That's the beauty of being a male. You can build your character completely from the ground up, just for video game. Every single thing about me that people respect, I built. I was not born a world champion kickboxer. I was not born this intelligent or intellectually. I was not born this rich. I was not born this strong. I was not born this confident. I was not born this interesting. I was not born this charismatic and humble and gorgeous and tall and strong and sexy. I was not born none of these things. I became these things myself.
Hey, Andrew. So how do I get like a six-pack? What's the fastest way to get a six-pack?
Why does it have to be quick? Why does it have to be easy? Why do you think life is all quick and easy? Why can't it be hard and difficult? Why can't you suffer? Because suffering is what gives it value. If everyone had a six-pack and it was quick and easy, then it wouldn't be valuable, would it? If everyone walked around with a six-pack and they got it easily, no one would give a shit. The whole point is that it's difficult to get. Value is linked to difficulty. If you want something that is valuable, you need something which is difficult to obtain. The fact that you just said you wanted it quick and easily shows that your whole mental model is fucked. You shouldn't be thinking about quick and easy. You should be thinking about hard, suffering, pain, going through it. That's what you should be thinking about. This is going to be hard, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because when it is done, then everyone's going to know that I went through something difficult. Why do you want it to be quick and easy?
Lessons and trauma, and the more you go through, the better of a man you are. And if you were to find the best men on the planet, I guarantee they've been through a bunch of terrible things. And you can use that trauma to become a better person, or you can let that trauma consume you and destroy you. But I thank God for all of it, because it gave me endless power to become the person I am. If you're truly angry or truly unhappy, then you can't sleep. And if you can't sleep, then you get twice as many hours as everybody else, become monumentally successful. So there's advantages. There's advantages to difficulty. I am glad for everything that happened. I wouldn't change a thing. Thank God for all of it. So truthfully, I think I'm lucky. I've been blessed. The reason I talk about these things is not to tell people I've had a hard life. It's to make it clear to people who are complaining about their own lives that the bad things that are happening to you are what you need to become the man that you want to be. I can't talk about women because I'm not one. I actually think trauma is terrible for women because it masculinizes them. They become cold. And that's not attractive, right? We want feminine, pure, protected women. I don't want a woman to ever go through anything bad in her life. I think a man should go through it for her and protect her, because I think that's how she's her best self as a woman. But I think to be your best self as a man, it's the absolute opposite. When someone emails me and says, this has happened to me, I'm like, good. No, what do you mean good? It's terrible. How else are you going to become important? How else are you going to find endless fire to get up and struggle in the face of the competition that's out here in the world? How else are you're going to do all that with a nice, cushy life? If any man's honest with himself, think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. You were heartbroken, or, you lost a house, or broke, or whatever. That's when you did shit. When everything was fine, when the woman's still sucking dick, the mortgage is paid, dinner's on time, it's kind of doop-de-doop-de-doo, little by little, do a little bit of work, do a little bit of relax. But the big events come from trauma. This is it. So it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code to climb the mountain.
I think we're here to struggle and to learn. I don't think we're here to be happy. I think we're here to do important things, and important things are going to be difficult, and they're going to be hard, and you're going to get frustrated. But that's what gives you purpose. That's why when we keep going back to the happy argument, I've always found that kind of frustrating and annoying. Someone goes, oh, but I want to be happy. Why? Why do you want to sit there and laugh? Like you were happy your entire childhood. That's your happy days. You're allowed to be happy as a kid. Right. It's all over now, right? You're a man. Anyone who's chasing happiness, I think that's a very feminine frame. I understand why some women just want to be happy. I don't know how it feels to be a girl because I'm not one, but in my experience, I know women who just want to be happy. Yeah. Girls just want to have fun. Yeah. Fine. But you're a man, right? And if you're a man, then it's absolutely an utterly different experience of life. I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to endure pain. Yeah. I think we're here to just see how hard we are to kill. I think that going through terrible things and living through them and coming out the other side is one of the most fantastic things about being human. It's almost like once you understand what life is really about, there's no emotion which isn't enjoyable. The only emotional state which can be seen as detrimental is feeling nothing at all. And if you're sitting at home and you're feeling truly heartbroken, at least you're feeling something, right? I think this is what God wants from us, from all of us. It doesn't matter what the adversary is. It doesn't matter how much you're hurt by it. You need to allow it to motivate you to push harder and show your power, and show your resilience. And even before I became Islamic, I very much understood that when bad things happen to me, this is a lesson from the universe or from God or from the creator to stand up and show who I am and who I can be, and to take all of the pain and anguish and disappointment and heartbreak and all of this and turn it into a force I can use for good and to make myself a better person. And I think if you don't approach life this way, that you're always going to struggle, because life is hard for everybody. It's going to be hard. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. You need to be resilient to it. I ask people have these beliefs. Doesn't matter what their belief is. Doesn't matter. They believe in something. I say, where did you get that belief from? And they don't know. Where did you get that belief? Who told you that? And does that person have your best interests at heart? Think about it. Think about all the things you truly believe. Think where you learned it, and think if that person actually gives a fuck about it. Because the only thing you should be learning from is personal experience for people who genuinely care about you and love you. Most people are out here believing things and repeating things that were told to them by people who don't even fucking like them, by their enemies. Everyone's mind is fundamentally fucked. All of it. Look at me. I'm a guy who decided to conquer social media. I blinked, I cured my brain. I used basic indefatigability. I used perspicacity. I used compendiousness. I used my mind, and I focused, and I fucking conquered the world in a few short months. It's not difficult. There's just no competition because everybody's fucking distracted. They're getting distracted by this, distracted by that, watching fucking Netflix, jerking off to Pornhub like fucking jackasses. It's so easy to win. You can control your own mind. It seems that nobody fucking can. I can't imagine truly wanting to quit something and not doing it. I can't imagine. Like, when I talk to people who say, I want to quit smoking, I say, when? They go, oh, well, soon. But that means you don't want to quit. You want to keep smoking for a while and quit later. Like, I could quit cigars today. Like, it wouldn't even plague my mind. Like, if I wanted to quit, I'd quit. I can't imagine a mind frame or a mindset where I want to do something and can't do it. Right? Life is hierarchical. There's always going to be kings and there's always going to be peasants. If you have a mind that you can't control, then you're never going to be a king. You're going to be a peasant. That's your life. You have a peasant's life ahead of you, and that's your destiny. Enjoy. Right? There's always been peasants. That's life. But I believe that the most important thing you can do as a man is to gain control of your mind. Once you have control of your mind, life is so ridiculously easy. It's so ridiculously easy. It's so easy to be in. People say to me, Tate, you're in good shape, but all you do is drink vodka and travel the world. You're never even home. You never even have a gym. How do you do it? It's ridiculously easy if you control your mind. If I decide to do 1,000 push-ups, I'll do them. Maybe I have to do them one at a time. Maybe I'll get tired. Maybe I need a break. I'm going to do 1,000 because I said I'm going to do 1,000. It's not fucking hard. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Once you control your mind, it's easy, right? Getting over a breakup with that bitch. You miss that girl. You're upset. You miss her with all your heart. Da-da-da. But once you realize she's gone, if you control your mind, she's gone now. She's gone now. I'm going to miss her. That's a shame. Off to the gym. You either control your mind or you don't. If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life, because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. Right. You can't control other people. You can't even control whether your heart stops beating. You might have a heart attack tomorrow. You can't control anything besides what you think. If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place, completely hoping on the gods to be fortunate to you, because if any genuine discomfort comes your way, you're fucked. It is trained like everything else in life. You need to live like God is always watching. You may have the opportunity to do something bad, or you may have the opportunity to steal some money or snake somebody, but in the end, you're going to pay for that and the bill will be paid. Mm-hmm. I think if you do the right thing, in my experience, if you're a person who does the right thing, firm handshake, is on time, doesn't lie to anybody, does what he's supposed to do, is honest with a good heart, is genuinely polite to everyone he meets. If you are that person, you get very far in life. I've yet to meet people who just do all the simple things right, who completely fail at life. But I've met a lot of people who snake or steal some money and they get really rich, then they lose it all, or they get rich and end up a gambling addict or depressed or etc. So you have to just understand that God is always watching. He's going to reward you in the end. That's the first thing. And the second thing I will say is that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and you need to curate your reality. I think the biggest problem with young people today is that they don't curate their realities heavily enough. The people that they want to spend most time with aren't adding any value to their lives, and then they end up wondering why they don't get it. When I tell people that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, everyone agrees. They go, yeah, that's probably true. The 5 people you spend the most time with, that's what you're going to end up like. They say, yeah, that's true. And then they continue to hang around with people who they don't want to be. Why? There has to be a point. There has to be a point where you sit and go, okay, you're my friends, et cetera, et cetera. I love you guys. Yeah, we can talk, whatever, but I'm on a different life path. You have to leave some people behind. If you were to come hang out with me and you were in a room with me and my 5 friends, you'd feel self-conscious.
You're right.
You don't feel with your friends. If you were to come hang around with me and my crew, you would be self-conscious, and that self-consciousness would motivate you, or they would certainly instill the discipline required for you to change. You don't feel self-conscious amongst your peers. That's why you don't change. If you were to get in a room and you're the only person who ain't a fucking monster, you'd want to become a monster.
Do you have something to prove? I think everybody on the planet has something to prove. If you walk through life and feel like you have nothing to prove, then you're a fucking loser. If you wake up each day and go, I don't owe anybody anything, I don't have to prove anything to anybody, then you are a loser, because you are absolutely not being correct. You must prove yourself to other people. You must prove yourself to your bloodline. You must prove yourself to God. God hates the lazy. He can't stand them. If he gives you all these genetic dispositions and these natural God-given gifts, if you have 2 arms and 2 legs and you can think, and you're not trying your absolute best, that's the reason you're not lucky. He doesn't like you. He likes the people which show him the beauty of his own creation. He likes to give somebody building blocks and them to build something amazing. It's the best thing about being a man. You get to build who you are. God loves to see that. Those people, for some reason, seem to be enormously lucky, right? The person who goes, I don't have to prove anything to God. I don't owe all of my ancestors any effort. You know, for 5,000 years, people were dodging saber-toothed tigers, catching the plague, and running from Genghis Khan just for my stupid ass to be born. I don't owe them anything. I don't owe them a thing, because I want to play video games. These people are fucking losers. You should walk through earth with force inside of you. As I walked into this hotel reception, everybody did. Not because they know who I am, but because as I move, even if it's behind their head, people feel something. It's an energy that comes from brutal competence. That's what happens when a predator walks in a room. You pay attention next time you're in a restaurant. If a man who's truly dangerous walks in, nearly every other man kind of looks up and says, feel it. You need to, or you don't survive. We've evolved with that to live. That's who I am. I couldn't imagine not being that man. I've done that because I've been trying to prove myself to my lineage my entire life. I wake up every day with something to prove. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. I wake up and think, fuck, more. I'm in fantastic shape, 4 times world champion, fighting the matrix out here by myself, more. I will have to be braver. I must try harder. All I do is prove myself. So when I hear people go, I don't have nothing to prove, then you're a fucking loser. Peasants have never felt like they needed to prove anything. But kings felt like they needed to go and conquer land. Isn't that it's coincidental that the king, who already had it all, felt like he needed to go to some far-flung land and conquer it and take it and prove he's the king. But the peasants, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You're a fucking loser then. You're a dummy. I absolutely and utterly, completely have everything to prove to everybody all of the time. That's who I am. I will prove anything to anybody. If I sit and say X, I will prove it to anyone. I can be checked at any time.
And their ancestors who fought fucking saber-toothed tigers or escaped the Mongol hordes or managed to dodge bombs in the Second World War. All the shit they went through just for this fucking cretin to be born. And to look at him, look at who he is, listen to his life story, listen to what he does on a day-to-day basis, and they would feel nothing but fucking shame. Your ancestors did all that shit, all that struggling to survive, hunting and gathering, fucking avoiding enemies, anything it took, dying at age 30 from a tooth infection, all the crap they went through just for you to be born so you could smoke weed and jack off. That's what your ancestors died for. That's what they worked so hard for. That's who you are. That's the end of your fucking bloodline. Do you feel no shame? It's fucking shameful. My ancestors will look at me and think everything we went through was fucking worth it. Your ancestors will look at most of these people, their ancestors look at them and feel nothing but fucking disgust. Well, I guarantee even their fucking living relatives, their living parents aren't even proud of them. Like the fuck? Your own father's ashamed of you. And you don't even feel fucking motivated to do shit. It's a fucking shame. If you were to go and look your father in the eye and said, you know what? I could have been a UFC champion. I could have been a multi-millionaire. I could have been a race car driver. I could have been a fucking nuclear physicist. Could have done all these things, but I was busy on Pornhub. You think he's gonna be proud of you? Fuck no. Fuck no. And there's men here who will deny it, right? There's men who will go, no, 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 no. But those are the ones who are most lost. And they should look in the mirror, look deep in their own eyes and say, yes, I'm fucking disgusting. I can change this. That's the beauty about being a man. If you're disgusting, you can change it. That's the beauty. There's nothing stopping you changing it.
You're right.
You must accept it. You must accept it first. Most of these people, what they do is they hang around with other disgusting people, and then they're a little group of disgusting people, and they think, well, I'm not disgusting. Everyone's disgusting, and this is normal, and it's normal to be a fucking jerk off. Not in my world, it isn't. It's not normal to be a fucking jerk off in my world. It's the denial that's going to hold you back the most. The people who go, yes, I'm wasting my potential. Those are the ones who have potential. The ones who stand up and go, I am wasting my potential. I could be anything, and I am not that yet. They have a chance. The men who go, well, no, actually, I'm fine. They're fucked. They're inside the matrix, fully slave minded. They're a waste of time. But if you sit there and go, you know what? Yeah, I am wasting my potential. Yes, I can be more than I am. Even if I'm already great, I can do better. As good as I am, I still push myself to the limit every single fucking day. I have every single thing a man could possibly want. I'm still pushing myself. This is your prerogative as a man. But you need to be instilled with a sense of duty to your bloodline. You must want it. You need to want it deep inside your soul. I can't die as anything less than emperor. It's my destiny. There are duties that men must fulfill, whether to God or to your bloodline.
I didn't say depression isn't real. I said feeling depressed is real. But the idea that depression is going to strike you in your mind and there's nothing you can do about it isn't real. When you believe in something, you give it power. So I tried to say that when I felt at my lowest and I achieved the most I've ever achieved in my life, the reason I was capable of doing that is because I didn't believe in the paradigm of being a depressed person. I just believed that this is how I currently feel and fuck it. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my life to be better. I don't even give a shit about right and wrong. You can tell me you can give me every scientific proof in the world, depression, I refuse to believe in things that take my power away from me. I'm only going to construct a mental model that allows me to be as powerful as possible. If believing in the idea of depression is going to take my own power away, then I won't believe in it. I don't want to believe in things that make me weak. So when people email me and they start saying, I'm depressed. And what's funny is this, I talk to them, and they desperately defend the idea of depression. I'm like, my friend, you just told me you're too depressed to be successful and depression has destroyed your life and you lost your girl. I'm telling you that the enemy in your life isn't real. And you're now sending me 10 emails a week trying to convince me that your enemy is a real thing. And they're defending it because it's a cure-all excuse. Depression or sadness is a cure-all excuse for men to use for failure. You get to roll out, be fat, be out of shape, be broke, be unimportant with no girlfriend. And instead of the world thinking you're a loser, you get to say, I'm not a loser. I'm depressed. It's a shield. Yeah. And I say, that's why you don't want to lose your shield. Because now you have accountability. Now you have performance. It's a cop out. Fuck it off. I don't give a shit if it's real or not. We're not about that. We're talking about success here. Get rid of your excuses. Stop defending the thing that's ruined your life and get to fucking work. And every time anyone has ever listened to me in history, ever, every single one of them's transformed their lives and messaged me positive messages afterwards. Every single fucking time. That's why I'm antidepressant. Because that pill ain't going to fix you the way becoming the man you wish you were is going to fix you.
Conquest is all life's ever been for men. This is what men have an innate desire to conquer. Why did the Romans wake up, melt rocks, make swords, and walk in random directions? They didn't have Google Maps. They didn't have a fucking clue where they were going. Random directions to find some other group of people and fuck them up and take their shit. Why? Conquest. This is a conquer. Why did Genghis Khan ride his ass from Mongolia all the way to fucking Vienna? It's a long way. Why? Conquer. Men are born with this innate desire to conquer. It's inside of us. They're trying to suppress it. They're trying to distract it away from you, tell you that you're wrong. You're toxically masculine. You shouldn't want to conquer. You should want to sit at home and be tolerant. No, you shouldn't. You should want to conquer shit. Doesn't matter if you do it fiscally and make as much money as possible. Doesn't matter if you do it at the gym, lifting as much weight as possible. Doesn't matter if you're trying to become as big as possible on the internet. You need to find out a way to conquer Earth and conquer. It's the only thing that's going to make you happy as a man. The only thing that's going to make you intrinsically happy is conquest. Nothing else. If you're depressed because you don't conquer shit, conquer something. Get up and do it. It doesn't have to be a negative at all. You can do it in a very, very positive way.
I know a killer when I see one. They set me up when I put my bag in the trunk at the beginning. I like to look in the eyes of killers. There's not many people like that around anymore in the West.
So you kind of enjoyed it in a way.
I mean, Russia's Russia. I got robbed in Moscow. Don't think I've ever told this story. Have I ever told this one? Let me think. Don't think so. I got robbed in Moscow. So
When was it? What happened?
And I like Russia and I like Russians, but this is the first time I went to Moscow. 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So, do I tell this story? Yeah, all right. Everything starts with women, doesn't it? Man, they're such an attack vector. So I'm talking to this chick on Instagram. Blah, blah, blah. I'm ignoring her. She keeps messaging me all the time. Come Russia, come Russia, come Russia. I'm like, no, I'm not coming to Russia. I've got things to do. Then like 7 other baddies from Russia start messaging me, and everyone wants me to go to Russia. I'm like, why do all these hot girls want me to go to Russia? Why everyone wants me to go to Russia? This sounds like a setup. Something ain't right. But I'm glad I can go to Russia. I can't get a visa anyway. It's too much work. Then the football game came. There was some football thing. I think it was a FIFA, I don't know, football, Euro game, something. It was in Moscow. And if you bought a ticket, you instantly got a visa to go to Russia. So I was like, this is the easiest a visa's ever going to be. Do I go? And then I looked up and I found a game. I think it was like Poland versus Korea or something. It was like €6. This ticket to this game. It's like a €6 Russian visa with no work. Okay, but I'm going to be on my game because I don't trust this. They're after me, the agents. So I buy this ticket, I get my visa, I fly to Moscow. I've booked the Kopinski in advance, the Kopinski hotel, because I think if I stay in a 5-star hotel, I'll be okay. I land at the airport, I've got my bag, I go to walk out, guy in a yellow vest goes, taxi, taxi. I say, yep, taxi. I go to get in the taxi, and he starts walking towards the civilian car park. And this has happened to me a lot of times in Eastern Europe, happened to me in Moldova, even in Romania happens sometimes. People pretend to be taxis, but they're not taxis, and they try to take it to their car. And I'm like, no, I want an official taxi. Not getting in your car. But I am a taxi. I was like, no. Been around, goodbye. Turned around, started walking back to the taxis. Him in his yellow vest runs up and goes, okay. And he points at this yellow car that said taxi, in the taxi rank, taxi. And he goes, says something to him in Russian, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, okay, here's taxi, sir, taxi.
Huge news, years in the making. My brand new book that my publishers refuse to publish, Money Matrix. Beat the money system and build generational wealth. Understand the 3 main ways that the banks productize you and make money from you. You'll be able to turn that system against itself, build generational wealth and multiple streams of recurring income. It's all at moneymatrix.cash. And if you're quick, the first few hundred registrants and buyers will receive many special bonuses from me. The brand new Money Maker Summit 3-day special event. Meet me at a champagne reception. Meet me at a multi-millionaire networking dinner. Go now, moneymatrix.cash. This is huge.
Guy gets out, the taxi driver. Taxi driver gets out. He's like 6 foot, 130 kilo, Mongolian. Looks like a wrestler. Gets out.
Zangief.
Yeah, Zangief. Zangief gets out. And because this is how my mind works, I look at him up and down and go, could I take him? Be messy. I'll be all right, but it'd be messy. So he gets out, he opens the trunk, ushers me to put my bag in the trunk, put my bag in the trunk, close the trunk, get in the back of the car. The car starts driving down the motorway in Russia. And he has his phone as the meter, which is the first suspicious thing. And his phone is up there, and this number, Russian rubles, is going through the fucking roof. I'm like, how much is the Russian ruble? I don't even know. So I get my phone out, and I turn on the data, and I get my text message. Hi, data is 25 pounds a megabyte. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. How much is the Russian ruble? And I worked out that I've been in this car for 4 minutes, and I owe $600 in taxi. So there's no way that's the taxi fare. So we're driving down the highway at speed, and I'm like, brother, this is fake. This is a scam, bro. And this is the weirdest experience of my life. He totally ignored me. But what can you do? He's driving the car. And people don't ignore me when I talk. So this big man's driving the car, and I've tapped him on the shoulder saying, you're trying to rob me. I was like, bro, you're trying to rob me. Stop the car. And he's just like, just totally ignoring me, driving the car. So I'm like, what? I don't want to hit him, but I guess I kind of had to. So I shoved him so the car moved a bit and said, stop the fucking car. I'm not paying this. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. Bro, I've been around long enough. I know a killer when I see one. And he turned around and looked me dead in the eye. This man's killed someone, I swear to God. Because I have that look, so I know when I see it. Takes one to know one. He looks me dead in the eye, looks back, gets the phone, dials a number, hands me the phone. Because you guess he doesn't speak English. I hit the phone and say, hello? It's the first guy who tried to take me to the car. He goes, you wanted a taxi. I was like, bro, I don't even have this money on me. So I don't know what you expect to happen, because I don't have this money on me. He goes, you wanted a taxi, pay the fare. I said, bro, I can't pay it. I don't have it. Tell him to stop at the nearest gas station. I'll give him the money I have on me, and I'll get a real taxi. Hold on. Didn't even answer me, just hung up on me. So I go, what can I do here? If I hit this guy, I guess the car crashes. This other guy isn't answering. They want money I no longer have. So I tapped the guy and I said, okay, I'll pay it. Call your friend again. Call your friend. Get to the phone again. I was like, listen, I think I had like $4,000 on me. I said, look, I have $500 is all I have. I'll pay the $500 when we get to the end, if you let me out. The guy goes, no, you paid the meter. Hung up again. I was like, you fucking cunt. Like, you unbelievable. So I thought it'd be smart. So I emailed, because my phone call wasn't working, so I emailed the Kopinski and said, I'm having a problem with the taxi. Can someone be waiting for me outside the Kopinski hotel? It's urgent, please. I emailed their info@kopinski.russia as a complete random. And I thought they'd never reply in time. They replied instantly, within 20 seconds. Yes, sir, someone will be waiting for you, no problem. So I was like, thank God they replied to that fast. Great. The concierge can argue, the taxi driver, work all this out. So now I'm just relaxing. I'm kind of chill a bit. And I just had to prod the guy. I was like, do you speak English then? Totally ignored me. I was like, you're friendly. So I'm just talking shit. So anyway, we pull up at the hotel. I'm all confident, right? Guy's gonna be outside. I pull up at the hotel. Nobody's outside. Nobody. No concierge, nothing. So I said to the guy, I go to get out the car. I get out the car. The guy then gets out the car, comes, and he stands face to face with me like a boxing stare-off and shows me the phone of how much I owe him. I don't even know what it is in rubles, 3,000 American dollars, something ridiculous. I said, bro, I don't have it. He looks at me like he's going to murder me. I don't have it. I said, I have $500. That's all I have. He goes, okay. Using my ninja fingers, my hands, I reach in my pocket and I ninja off like 500s. Because I've got a pile of money like this. So I'm like, I give it to him. And then the takes the money, and I'm standing at the back of the car, waiting for him to open the trunk, gets in the car and starts driving down the road. I'm like, bro, my bag. He stops like 5 meters later and goes, the rest of the money. He knew. They set me up when I put my bag in the trunk at the beginning. And my bag's got my laptop, all my clothes, everything, which is worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, if you ever get in a taxi, don't put your bag in the boot. was a setup. I was like, fuck. I was like, call your friend. So he calls his friend. I said, listen, I've already given him $500. It's very clever what you did with the bag. It's like, the guy from the Kopinski is about to come out now. I can't give you more than this. We have to come up to something sensible. Said, I can go to a cash point and try and get some more money, but I need my bag. And he goes, okay, 500 more. I said, fine. Hung up the phone. Instantly peeled off 500, didn't bother going to a cash point. And then guy gets back out the car, and me and him have a Mexican standoff at the back of the car. He opens up the boot. He grabs my bag. I've got the money. And we kind of swap them. Just after we've done that, after I paid this fucker $1,000, the guy from the Kopinski walks out. Oh, Mr. Tate, do you need help? I'm like, yeah, help. Yeah, carry my bag. You're useless. It's been 10 minutes. Where have you been? Oh, sorry, Mr. Tate. Useless. It's kind of funny because for my other 4 days in Moscow, I had a great time. I love the Russian people. They're very nice. I guess I was unlucky. But every time I left the hotel, there was like a row of taxis, and they all looked like this guy. And they'd all stare at me. And I thought, I'm so glad I paid him, because I guarantee if I got in a fight with that guy, I'd be dead by now. They're just waiting outside the Kopinski, these dudes. And the lesson is, never put your bag in the back of a taxi. That's the lesson for everybody, and that's the story. And I survived, and I had a great time in Moscow. But I'm not going to lie, it did sour things a little bit for me. I was a bit nervous, on edge. And that's how I paid $1,000 for a taxi. Turns out the official rate, which I found out on the way back to the airport, which was booked from the hotel, I think it was like $6. I got wrecked. But to lose my bag and my luggage was worth so much more.
Well, and surely the $1,000, the lesson was worth more than the $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, I like to look in the eyes of killers. There's not many people like that around anymore in the West.
So you kind of enjoyed it in a way.
I mean, Russia's Russia. In the West, you don't see that look very often. But it was a stark reminder of the realities of this world, because the realities of the world always boil down to violence. And I understand that very well. And sometimes you get a little bit comfortable. There are people who walk around through Earth. They're walking around. I can look outside right now. There's people walking around, and they don't understand that every single thing they rely on and everything they love is backed by violence. It always has been. It always will be. The whole underpinning of a civilized society is violence. The only reason we don't need violence is because there is a threat of violence. And you can nail it down to any law and regulation. As simple as a parking ticket. If you don't pay your parking ticket, they will give you a fine. And if you don't pay the fine, they will take you to court. If you don't go to court, they will take your house. And if you don't give them your house, police will come, kick shit out of you, throw you in jail. It ends in violence in all things. And it was a good reminder to understand that making a mistake, putting my bag in the back of a car, in the boot, as opposed to keeping it on me, brought me this close to a physical confrontation with probably a Mongolian wrestling champion in the middle of a street in Moscow, by myself. And it's a good reminder that violence is always so close. It's only a few steps away at all times. And
the reminder that if you have enough money, you can buy yourself out of death.
Well, yeah.
Because if you hadn't had 5,000 or been rich,
I would have been in a lot of trouble,
you could have been dead.
I think so. And it was good also to see that I felt nerves, but they were the same nerves I felt before I fought. I didn't feel fear, which was a good reminder as well, to know that I'm still not afraid. I get nerves because the nerves sharpen me, but I don't feel fear, which was a good thing. But I still remember his eyes. I don't think I've ever been looked at like that in the West. And that's another thing that we can tie back into our whole conversation we just had about how certain societies still operate in a certain way, and our Western societies are so failed. Maybe I should have told him about LGBT and feminism, and he might have let me go. Maybe I should have said, this is bad, this is misogynist. Maybe I should just talk some garbage, and he would have let me off. Or is the brutal reality of the world men who are prepared to die for an idea? And his idea was I owed him $6,000, and he was ready to kick the shit out of me for it. And that's the bottom line of all ideas.
Tate, can you please explain exactly how to get over a breakup? I just went through a major breakup, and you have never explicitly spoken about the topic.
Sure, I'll talk about it. First things first is that going through a breakup sucks. And every single man out here, no matter what they say, understands how bad it is to go through a breakup and understands what heartbreak's like. It's difficult. It's not easy. I'd actually like to argue that men feel more heartbroken than women. I think that's
facts.
I think it's true. And I think it's because one of the possessive element that we have, the idea of her being with someone else hurts more than the idea of you being with someone else to her. And secondly, because you have a lot less options than she has instantly. So I think that breakups are worse for men than they are for women. And I understand how difficult and hard they can be. However, unfortunately, the unfortunate reality is that chasing her and being dedicated to her and saying you're going to do whatever she wants, etc., is very unlikely to work.
When I get a message from whoever and he goes, my wife left me, I'm devastated. I say, I understand. I completely understand how hard it can be to lose a woman that you've given your entire life to. And you've done so many nice things. And then because of one thing you did, her innate and absolutely insane level of ungratefulness has turned her bitter, and she now talks to you like she hates you over one thing you've done after thousands of efforts showing how dedicated you are to her. And even now that you're prepared to die for her, she doesn't give a shit about you. I understand that pain. But my answer is good. It's still good.
When bad things happen to me,
You love it.
I kind of enjoy it. And I think that maybe it's perhaps I just enjoy it for the story. Perhaps my whole life is not about trying to find comfort. It's trying to find challenges, and it's trying to find stories. I'll be very honest with you. Even in jail, my brother and I kept saying, this is probably the best story, one of our best ever stories. That's what life is about to me. And if you were to say to me right now, Andrew, do you want to spend a year living in comfort and flying around the world and sleeping with girls and doing whatever, or do you want to spend a year in a jail in Mongolia? I'd probably choose the jail. Maybe I'm a sadist. Maybe I'm nuts. But for me, it's all about the challenges. It's not about the comforts. That's what I'm interested in. And I want to have stories to die with.
Life, the purpose of it is to learn, and it is to struggle, and it is to suffer. And I don't think that we are put on the planet to be happy. I actually genuinely believe we are put on the planet to learn things and to struggle and to genuinely suffer. I think that life is suffering. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. I think that if you want to be any kind of man of caliber, your life needs to be full of suffering. If you don't have that story of pain, you don't have a story at all. It's just the way the world works. You're not going to be a credible man who is respected if you don't have a bunch of pain and problems in your past. If you wake up and you're born as a man and everything goes exactly to the way you want it to, and everything's nice and easy, nobody's going to respect you. And you're not even going to be happy yourself. I believe that also the masculine imperative not only is to give, like we said earlier, but it is to overcome struggle. We look at struggles and we look at problems and we want to overcome them.
When you're truly heartbroken, you can't even sleep. And your mind is constantly preoccupied. And instead of seeing that as a negative, what you need to do is use that as a source of unlimited power. If I was truly heartbroken today, let's imagine, and I could barely sleep, I'd be in better shape than I've ever been. I'd train like a fucking animal. You have to just take the energy inside of you. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted, whether it's heat into light or momentum into friction or however you want to put it, right? Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. And you have to look at that and understand that the sadness inside of you is energy. You can't destroy it, but you can convert it into something else which is constructive. And you just have to suck it up, buttercup, and get over it. Yeah. And there's no other way to do it. And obviously having an abundance of women makes that easier. But I wouldn't even put it that way. I'd say if you were with a woman and you lost her and you're now lonely and she's going to be moving on and you're absolutely not heartbroken and you're destroyed inside, I understand how difficult that is. But now you have genuine sadness inside of you, which is unlimited motivation for you to become a fucking beast, become an animal. And by the time you're finished becoming an animal, you won't care anymore. So if you really want to cure yourself, you need to say, I'm going to get a six pack and I'm going to get bigger arms. And by the time my arms are this size and I have a six pack, then I'm going to think about that bitch. And you'll realize you don't give a shit about her anymore.
Think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. You were heartbroken or, you lost a house or broke or whatever. That's when you did shit. When everything was fine, when the woman's still sucking dick, the mortgage is paid, dinner's on time, it's kind of doop-de-doop-de-doo, little by little, do a little bit of work, do a little bit of relax. But the big events come from trauma. This is it. So it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code to climb the mountain.
Anything in the world that makes you happy that you currently have, whether it's a person, whether it's a job, whether it's a scenario, whatever it is, also has the exact inverse capability to make you extremely angry. So you have to accept this about
You're
life.
quite detached, man. You're quite detached from everything that you also own. You say you love it, but at the same time, you're okay with letting go.
Well, that's because I think I have confidence in myself to get it all back. And that's also because I have quite a lot of emotional control.
Adult happiness for me is just a lack of absolute sorrow. Like, there's no such thing as cold. There's only a lack of heat. Scientifically, cold doesn't exist. Heat exists, and a lack of heat creates cold. Well, I think it's the same thing with happiness. There's no such thing as happiness. There's just a lack of sorrow. If I'm not grief-stricken, if I'm not sitting here and I'm really devastated, if my family members haven't died, if I'm not bawling my eyes out, if I'm not really struggling, then I'm a happy person because I'm not completely sorrow filled. But I think a lot of people are somewhere in the middle, and they think because they're not at that giddy, childish happiness, there's something wrong with them. No grown-up adult's supposed to live at the fucking absolute peak of life's great, I'm happy. No one's supposed to live that way. And we're told we're supposed to live that way, and that if you ever feel a little bit sad, there's something wrong with you. That's not true. We're human beings. It's perfectly normal to wake up and be pissed off and be sad or be this or be that, because there's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that's wrong with it is to sit there and believe that you need to start taking a pill to fix it.
Life as a man is pretty shit, and you're going to feel shit for a pretty large percentage of the time. But you're only going to ever escape that if you just perform regardless. You have to perform when you feel bad. As a man, you can't say, I will perform when I feel good. It doesn't work that way because our heads are too complicated and life's too complicated. There's too much on our shoulders and we have too much stress and too much pressure. Our heads are fucked. You have to be the kind of person who says, I perform regardless. Her revenge on you is instant. Her revenge on you is running, getting on a boat and fucking 5 guys and going out to party and you're sitting at home alone. Her revenge is instant. Your revenge takes a little bit longer. But it is a better revenge overall. It takes, like all good things in life, good things come to those who wait. Good things don't come instantly. Your revenge is going to be using that sadness, using that sorrow to become such an amazing man that she realizes she fucked up. Every single one of my exes realizes they fucked up. There's not a single person who's close to me whose life would be better if I wasn't in it. Every single one of my exes looks and goes, I wish I had top G still now. I just text my boyfriend my problems. He can't fix them, but Andrew fucking could. Yeah. I'm sitting here on economy, Tate's on his jet. I fucked up. And so if you get to take that sadness and sorrow and truly become the man that you know you can become, then your victory comes. It's maybe a little bit delayed, but it's certainly not least coming. And you should be excited by that. You need to look that there will be a day where she regrets the decision she made. There will be a day where she understands that she fucked up and her life would have been better if she kept me. And I'm going to prove it to her.
If you were to find the best men on the planet, I guarantee they've been through a bunch of terrible things. And if you listen to podcasts from any of the most interesting people on the planet, usually they've had hard, terrible lives. And you can use that trauma to become a better person, or you can let that trauma consume you and destroy you. But I thank God for all of it because it gave me endless power to become the person I am. If you're truly angry or truly unhappy, then you can't sleep. And if you can't sleep, then you get twice as many hours as everybody else.
There is no such thing as a successful person without a failure. Without the failures, there's no success. You need both. For there to be winners, there has to be losers. Therefore, if God is going to give you the chance to become a successful person, he has to make it difficult. He has to lay out a gauntlet, because within that gauntlet, some people will quit and they can go become losers, which allow the people who do not quit to be winners.
All people with no money are really, really arrogant. I know a lot of broke people who are very arrogant, and their arrogance is a shield for their laziness. People will shield laziness with anything. No one wants to admit they're lazy. So they'll shield it with disbelief. Lazy people never get anywhere in life. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's tennis or money. If you're lazy, you're never going to get there. Quitters are the worst people on the planet. You can give a quitter absolutely everything and they will still fail. You can give it, doesn't matter what it is. If you go to IKEA and buy a flat pack fucking table and put it in front of a quitter, you will never have a table. He'll look at it and it's just long and he'll quit. Quitters can have every single advantage. Quitters can have all the information. Quitters can have all the tutelage. Quitters can have a mentorship. Quitters can have someone who messages them every morning. Hey, bro, let's get it. And guess what they're going to do at the end? Quit. They ain't never going to have shit. Idiots. Peons. They will stay brokies and wagies forever. Leave them there. Right? You need the people who don't quit. I don't quit. Every single facet of my life is testament to the fact that I don't quit. When people see my plane in the sky, you can say whatever you want about me. You can call me arrogant. You can call me anything you want, but you cannot call me a quitter. I didn't quit. So that's the difference. When it was hard, I did it anyway. That's who I've always been. And if you don't have that kind of tenacity, you're never going to be anything. This as well is difficult because the way that humans work and the way that we've evolved as a species is that we don't really learn lessons unless they're learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I believe that unless a lesson has taught the hard way, you're not going to learn it. You can have so many near misses and people won't learn their lesson. Bro, you must know a guy who goes out there, nearly crashes his car, doesn't slow his ass down till he wrecks it.
Yeah.
Like, this is how people are, right? So you need that pain for the lesson to sting enough to really genuinely go inside of your mind. And it's the same with everything. It's the same with driving a car or business. Truthfully, if you want to learn a lesson about business, You're going to have to suffer at some point. So you need to go through some pain. You need to experience some negative things. You need to have to a degree, some trauma to really even learn any lessons. I've been learning for a very, very long time. I've always been very, very observant, trying to pay a lot of attention. And life really doesn't have to be that complicated. When you see somebody that has something you want, you just got to try and work out how they got it.
Yeah.
And that's the missing part. Most people see people with things they want and they don't do the second half. They don't try and work out how they got that thing. Oh, my man has a Ferrari. Okay. I wish I had a Ferrari. Okay. They don't sit there and go for an hour. How did he get a Ferrari? It doesn't cross that part is the part they don't want to do, right? They just go, oh, he has a Ferrari. Wish I had a Ferrari. And they go back to TV.
Yeah.
And that's why they lose.
You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you find some guys who have their game right, your game's going to get straight. It's as simple as that. And I think if you take any man on the planet in any situation, in any scenario, and you tell him to become as strong as possible because of all the lessons he's going to learn, become as rich as possible because of all the lessons he's going to learn, plus obviously being strong and rich are benefits, plus find a network of brotherhood of men who are accountable to themselves and by extension accountable to you. If you're accountable to yourself as a man, you're also accountable for your friends. I don't want loser friends. I don't want dickhead friends. If you're in a room full of ice cream experts, and all they talk about is ice cream, how to make ice cream, the favorite flavor, the best way to store it, how much it costs to produce, how to transport it. And that's all they talk about is ice cream. Even if you have no interest in ice cream, over a long enough period of time, you're going to end up knowing stuff about ice cream. You're going to end up knowing shit. You're like, that's double chocolate this, it costs this much, and this is how they moved it. Then you're going to know things about ice cream. If you're in a room full of people who want to talk about money, then you're going to end up knowing about money. It's exactly the same thing. And network is net worth. Everyone understands this. And people also understand that they're likely to become the sum of the 5 people they spend the most time with.
Yeah.
But then they hang around with losers. It just blows my mind. Let's talk about this. Why did Genghis Khan wake up and think, you know what? What can I do for fun? Well, I can play this instrument. Shit. Play the instrument for me. Diddle-dee-dee-dee. Boring. Okay, let me fuck this girl. Fucked her. Let me fuck her. Oh, kid number 84. Boring. What's there to do? You know what, guys? Let's all get our horses and let's just ride over there and whatever we find, let's just take it. Why? Because it's the instinct to conquer. It's inside of a man. It's been dumbed down by the Matrix. They try and numb you. They numb you with entertainment. They try and put you in the festival crowd. They numb you with shit food. They numb you with depression, all this other garbage. But truthfully, if you're a man, you look in the mirror, what will make me happy? My empire will make me happy. That's why Alexander the Great did what he did, and Julius Caesar did what he did, and Genghis Khan did what he did. They didn't have Google Maps. They didn't know where they were going. They just said, no, we've decided we're going to go take shit from other people and show we're the best. And that's what we're doing now, the successful men at least, in a financial sense. Why am I making money? I have nothing to buy. There's nothing to buy. I have it all. I have 4 Kernan's eggs, a Rimac, a Bugatti, 53 other cars, 40 properties. There's nothing to buy. I'm just taking it from other people. I'm winning the game. I'm conquering. And that's what I think truly is going to give you purpose in life. It's just conquest. Men have always been this way. That's why war was even happening in the first place. The Mongols raided Vienna. How long does it take to ride from Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, on a horse to Vienna, Austria, across all of Siberia? And they were still mad enough and bored enough to go, we need that city over there. That's the masculine essence. And it's been numbed down inside of people. Do you think they were ever considering fun at any point during this conquest? Because I don't think they were. Nothing's fun. The only thing that's fun is masculine achievement and being respected for being monumentally successful and competent and crushing your enemies with your brutal brilliance. Turning up and saying, I'm going to make more money than all of you. I'm going to be more famous than all of you. I'm the best. Watch me. And winning. That is fun. I think that the entire world was built by this God-given drive to conquer. And to conquer doesn't always mean dominate others. You can conquer the sky by building a skyscraper. You can conquer by building roads. You can conquer by construction, not only by destruction. You conquer by turning up to a new territory and having a beautiful family and creating children. I think that's inside of every single man. I think it's been dumbed down by the Matrix, but I'm uninterested in fun. I don't understand the concept of fun. Fun is for women and children. All the women around me have fun.
We're really genuinely upset by what I say are the kind of people who can't truly learn anything and become successful in life.
Yeah.
I obviously know what I'm talking about to some degree, right? So if Mike Tyson walks in here and tells you he's going to teach you how to box and says you can't fight, you're a pussy, If that upsets you, then you can't learn, right? It's Mike Tyson. Just shut up and listen. Yeah. If someone, Richard and me, comes along and says, Andrew, you don't know shit, you're a dumbass and you're a brokey, I'm going to sit there and go, okay, maybe I'm a brokey. Elon, tell me something, right? I'll listen. But if you're going to sit there and go, don't call me names and then I not listen, you're never going to get anywhere, right? You don't become the master unless you're very, very good at being a student. And I've always been very, very good at knowing when to shut up. But I've got to a point in my life now where I don't have to shut up ever.
You use the gym analogy. It's a perfect analogy. I've never met anybody who is in fantastic shape. And you say, how'd you get in fantastic shape? And he goes, oops. Dunno, bro. Just, oops. No, absolutely not. I went to the gym every day. I ate this particular way. I had a meal plan. I dieted. Nothing is going to happen on accident.
Yeah.
This mindset of when my ship comes in, one day it's just going to, well, you're going to win the lottery? Maybe. You're not going to get it on accident. Your ship's not going to come in on accident. You have to plan for this. A lot of my stories on me realizing how the matrix needs to be broken were semi-related to cars, because when you start seeing a car the price of a house, and then you start seeing people with 30 of them, that's got to wake you up. That's got to wake you up. That I try and say this to people. Let's imagine what's a good wage in England? 100 grand a year?
100 grand, yeah.
100 grand a year, good wage, yeah? What's that on 100 grand? What are you paying? 40 or 50% tax?
Probably about 40%.
Okay, so let's say you're getting 60 grand a year. Let's imagine you're earning 100 grand a year. You're successful inside of the matrix. You're a successful slave. You make 60 grand a year. Let's imagine you can live for free, eat for free, you walk to work, you never buy clothes. Let's imagine you save 100% of your money, 60 grand each year. I don't want to do the math off the top of my head, but my Bugatti was 5.2. What is that? Is that like 90 years?
It's a lifetime of saving.
That's a lifetime of slave work without spending a penny ever once. To by the time you're a fucking geriatric and can't function, you might be able to buy one of my 30 cars. If that does not tell you the matrix must be cracked and there's other ways to make money, then nothing fucking will. Yeah. Because if you think you're just going to work your way to the top and just stick to the rules, you're a dummy. No, you won't.
That's it. That 16-year-old kid making 45 grand, he's making TikToks all day, every day. He's working. Like, he ain't getting money for free. He's sitting there finding videos, chopping them up, making them entertaining, adding the fucking titles that he's working for.
The thing is, like we were going back to earlier, people ain't got the attention span.
People ain't got the attention span to work anymore. Yeah. He's just working. You have to just work. At some point you have to bite the bullet and just work. So when someone comes to me talking about passive income and they're a brokey, I'm like, you are just lazy. You are lazy. You'll never get anywhere. Be passionate about success. If you're passionate about money, then you can be passionate about anything. I'll be passionate about any business on earth that pays me. If you pay me $1 billion to dig that hole, I'll be very passionate about that hole. I will dig that hole with passion for the cash.
Yeah, because you know the cash.
For the money.
Yeah.
That's right. So when people come along and say, oh, you need to find something you're passionate about, follow your passion. Bro, you're going to follow your passion to the fucking food bank. You're never going to make any money that way. You have to sit there and go, what is going to pay me?
But to a degree, I think the universe is very giving. And I've yet to experience in my 36 years a man or a woman who genuinely tries their very best and genuinely dedicates himself to something and is genuinely motivated to make sure they're the best version of themselves, who doesn't get what they want.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I've never seen someone go, I spend all of my time doing what I'm supposed to do. I do not waste any of my time. I dedicate myself. I'm good to people. I'm honest. I'm hardworking. I'm there on time. Every time I've got a meeting, I've got a firm handshake. I don't snake anybody. God likes me. I work hard. I'm not an evil person, and I work really, really hard. Who doesn't have everything they want? So everyone can have anything they want. I really believe the universe will give anyone anything they want if they actually. Life experience is always going to be valuable, no matter what it is. Especially when you're young, you're going to get your heart broken a bunch of times. Some bigger, older, richer dude's going to take that chick. Heartbreak is the most fantastic motivator on the planet. When a lot of men message me and say they're heartbroken, I think that is the most fantastic mindset to be in to achieve things. Because there is that degree of revenge, and there is that degree of vengeance, and that can only be achieved through being so successful, so monumentally important that she can't forgive you. And also, you cannot even sleep. You can't even concentrate. Like, your whole mind's a mess. That's the perfect time to train. I only mention heartbreak all the time because I know it's a path every single young man goes through. There's up and down. There's rain and sunshine. You have to be that man who's going to go through it all. If you're a man who has their heart broken, why did this happen? You have to know the why to prevent it from happening. You have to analyze the scenario and learn from it. One of the things women are best at is they're a fantastic mirror. Women are a reflection. If you have any weakness inside of you, or if you have any downfalls as a person, a woman's going to show you who they are. If you're too emotional, if you're too easy to get angry, she'll teach you that. She'll teach you that you can get angry too fast. Piss her off. If you're small, she'll tell you. She'll tell you exactly what is wrong with you when she is mad. She'll sit there and say, you got a short leg and your haircut shit. Get a new haircut. I hate your ugly ass. They'll tell you exactly what is wrong with you. When you look at your bad or your previous relationships with women that went wrong, you can sit there and go, okay, this all went wrong. What has she taught me? She taught me that I'm emotionally affectable. She taught me that if she ignores me, she gets more attention than if she's nice to me. You have to sit there and analyze all the lessons and you have to implement them. It's the same with absolutely everything. But women are a fantastic mirror. A lot of these guys who resort to that are men who don't have the self-reflection to sit and say, okay, why did this happen? As a man, you have to be accountable for absolutely everything. Every single thing that happens is your fault. You made her leave you. You did. Whether you like it or not, you are the reason she became so cold. You are the reason she doesn't listen anymore. You are the reason she's so arrogant all 100%. Of a sudden. You are. You may not have identified why yet, but if you identify why, then you get into your next relationship healed and understanding what you did wrong and learn from it. That's what you have to do. But most of these men don't want the self-accountability and they want to blame the women. You have to blame yourself. I know when to set a boundary, when to be nice. I know exactly what to do because I've self-analyzed. A lot of these red pill guys, they want to do exactly like you said, just run around and just bang chicks because they've never looked in the mirror and go, why do these chicks not want to just love me? Why am I a up? You're not perfect. There's a lot you learn, but you have to self-reflect and learn and pay attention to the mirror. These men who are afraid of commitment are not blaming themselves like they should. I actually truly believe that women in their hearts, unless they're completely corrupted by society, women just want to love and be loved and feel safe. That's what they want. They want a man that they can look at and they truly know he makes the decisions and I trust him to make the decisions and I love him for that and I respect him for that. That's what they truly want. When a woman starts turning on you, it's usually because she doesn't trust you for some reason. She doesn't trust your judgment. If she starts to doubt your judgment, how can she truly love you? You're the protector. You're the provider. If a woman's gone cold on you, you have to sit there and go, okay, she doesn't trust my judgment. What have I done that made her doubt me? It's not her fault. It's your fault. Every single time a woman leaves you as a man, it is your fault. Always. Even if a richer, more successful, more alpha man stole her from you, it's still your fault because you need to be like him. It's always 100% your fault. These men don't take accountability. It's 100% their fault. People say to me, can you turn her into a housewife? And I say, listen, I wouldn't want to, but I bet I could. Bring a woman alive who's going to cheat on me. With who? With who? With who? Who's she going to cheat on me with? Who the f*** is she going to cheat with? Nobody. There's not a girl alive I couldn't get loyalty from. Now, would I ever want to do it? Probably not. I like the idea of exclusivity. But once you get to a certain level, yeah. If you're that guy, you're that guy.